Okay, we're back once again. I'm going to try to, finish things up here. So we had just, scheduled a weekly, recurring, session, from, January, from like January 14th all the way to the end of the semester every Sunday. So, that's where we're at now. And let's go back to today's date. And, so we got the confirmation email, and let's go back to the default weekly view. And actually, let's go to the monthly view. And as you can see, you can see yourself from 11 p.m. to midnight every time. And so that's a cool thing. You can see on the schedule, on the monthly schedule, there you are every Sunday, 11 p.m. to midnight. You also have some other ones that you have done as well, perhaps, but that one is on there. Another way to see those sessions is, of course, to go to your upcoming appointments, your agenda, and try to find the ones that say Sunday at 11 p.m. and you see some of them there. There's one of them. There's one of them. You can go to the second page, and you'll see it as well. So your agenda, your agenda will contain all of those things. That you can see at a moment's glance what you have coming up the soonest. So for you, the next one is Friday at 2 p.m. So if you go, to the schedule, you should see one at Friday at 2 p.m., which you do. It's 2 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. So, what I want to do now is try to get through as many little small things as I can. So let's take a look at some potential error messages that you might get. Well, if you try to schedule outside of normal hours. For example, let's say that you're going to go for a late night Sunday session with me next Sunday, the next Sunday coming up, which is here. Well, no, you've already got. Let's say you're going to try to get a late night Monday session because you forgot about a quiz you have on, well, let's say Wednesday. You got a quiz on Thursday you forgot about, and you want to do a late night session with me, and you want to get it at the latest possible time that I'm open, but you're going to try to get it outside of hours by a little bit, and what is the effect of that? Well, as you can see, let's say you try to change that to, say, 2 a.m. because you want to go for 3 hours, but that's going to put you outside of my hours, even though it says the price, this 3-hour session. When you try to create the appointment, it's going to say the finishing time is outside of opening hours on Thursday, and I'm unavailable during this period. Well, what I would recommend in that case is, go ahead and just schedule it for, that 1 hour right there, and then, you can talk to me, when we'll do that session for that time, and maybe you'll know that I don't have anything else scheduled, so it might be possible for you to make a manual payment to me at the end of our 1 hour session. You could pay for some additional time, at the same rate. You make the manual payment. Let's say you wanted those extra 2 hours. Well, then you would fill in your name, Rodney Student, and go ahead and click on the Pay Now button at PayPal, and go on over to the PayPal website, make that payment for $17 or whatever, and then we could continue the session anyway. You see, so just go ahead and create that appointment, and get in there, get it in there, and there. Let's see where it is that you got that session. Let's see if we can find it now. There you are, 11 p.m. to midnight. You see. So I may actually extend my opening hours past midnight, but it won't be too far past midnight probably. But the good thing is, if you're that late night person and you like working outside of my opening hours, we might be able to do it. You see, we certainly might. So just create that appointment up until my closing time, and then you can see about making a manual payment to extend the session. And that's possibly available in any case. If I don't have anything else on my schedule, if you see that if there's nothing else after your session right there, then you know that I'm probably available to extend with you. That's definitely true. So you can look at my schedule and see that. if like you got a session with me 1 to 4 p.m. on Sunday and you see there's nothing after that, well, if you need to go further, I may be happy to do that. You'll just, probably make a manual payment, so that's, something I wanted to talk about. Another thing I wanted to discuss very, very briefly is this credit system. So, for example, let me show you how the credit system works. Let's say that for some reason I need to, give you some credit, so I'm going to assign you, say for some reason something happened and I had to leave the session early, or just for any number of reasons it might be necessary at some point to give you a credit, and so let's say I gave you a half hour's worth of, well, let's say I gave you $10 worth of credit, okay, $10, and so I update you, and now you're listed as having $10 of credit, and now when you log in, you're going to see that $10 credit right up there in the thing, and as well, you'll see it in your settings. You have a credit of $10, and so at that point, let's say that when you schedule a session, it's going to take that, it's going to use the credit before you actually have to go to PayPal. So, you won't even have to go to PayPal if your credit covers the cost of the session. So let's do an example of that. All right, let's go to today's, time period. And let's say you say, okay, well, I have $10 credit. You say to yourself, okay, great, that should be enough to get me at least a 1-hour session. So, and then have a little change left over. And so you say, okay, well, when is Jimmy's next available time period? Well, to do that, you just go to find available space of 60 minutes, and after the earliest possible time, and that earliest possible time is January 14th, because today is January 13th at 12:45 p.m. So this is going to find the soonest possible time you can get something with me, and you see that it's Friday, at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and you say, okay, that sounds good, so I'm going to create that appointment, and you just type that in. You say, I'm just using my my credit, Jimmy. You don't really have to say that. You just say, need help with the basics. It's something like anything, you could say, and you're not going to repeat it, obviously, because that would bump the price up too high, higher than your credit probably. So you create that appointment, and notice you didn't have to pay by PayPal, but it did reduce your available credit to $1.50 from $10. So it took out the $8.50. There's the thing right there. It appears on the schedule, paid with credit. As you can see, it says paid with credit, and then you should be getting the confirmation email as well, and it looks like it did get sent. There it is, paid with. It doesn't say paid. Well, it doesn't say that. Paid with credit status. Now that's the ID of the booking. So you might want to, if I ask you about that booking number, you might want to keep that handy. But you can always find that in your email. There's the time that you got. You didn't even know the time. You just knew that you wanted the soonest available possible time on my schedule that was open. So as well, I guess it bears mentioning that if you look on my website and you go to my live help section, and you see that I'm not that, let's say that you see that today there's nothing on my schedule, for example, today, but a lot of things tomorrow, and you see, well, nobody can schedule things today because it requires a 24-hour lead time. But if you know that I'm not busy, my schedule doesn't say that I have anything, well, shoot, just come on my live help, my live chat, and if I'm online, start typing, and we can perhaps do a session together, and you would just make a manual payment in that case, perhaps, or you could make a payment on this site, and then I could just delete this session afterwards from the schedule, since we did it immediately. But one way or the other, you see what I'm saying? So that covers the credit system. What else? Profile updating, I've already covered that. Updating your profile after every session so that I can see how the progress that you're making. Let's say that you did better on your last quiz after our last session, and you want think you're going to want more help with just homework problems, and you know, you still just like math basically not a lot, and you said did okay on last quiz, last session, helpful, thanks. I like to see that if you're saying that, so you update it, and I'll be able to see that when I look at your profile prior to our next session. And of course, the other thing is you can, you know, schedule for different amounts of time. You know, I think I have it set up so let's say you want to get a 4-hour session. Would it let you do that? Well, you have to go in and change it. You know, for example, if you wanted to get just a 30-minute session, could you? Yeah, 30 minutes. You could go 6 to 6:30, just like that. You know, and it will adjust the price down there. You see, and you can do repeating. Bi-weekly would mean you got once every 2 weeks. You see, once every 2 weeks. So if once a week is too much, just do once every 2 weeks, and it'll set you up that way. But let's say that you want more. Let's say that you want more than just a half hour. Let's say you want, you know, 3 hours, you know, with me. Then you type in a 9 p.m. right there, and it will adjust, you know, the price, you know, for you there. So there's a lot of, you know, things, you know, that you can, you know, do, you know, here. You have to adjust the time, you know, and I think I have it set to where you can get like 4 hours. I think it's 4 hours is like the most. Let's do a bi-weekly. Say you want to do bi-weekly, and create the appointment. See if it will, until time is invalid. So it may be that I only allow 3.5. Let's see about 9:30. I may extend that to 4 hours. So, oh no, it wasn't invalid, the until time. You see, you have to watch those things. You have to tell me when you want, you know, the bi-weekly recurring feature to end. Well, let's say you want to do it, you know, for like the next, you know, 2 months. So you want to do it for, you know, till like March 13th, you know, or March 18th. Today is, you know, so the 15th of, well, it's a Saturday, so you're going to need to go to that March Saturday there. So there we go. That's like 2 months of, you know, a session every 2 weeks. And let's see if it will let you. It will let you do that, and see it subtracts off the amount of the credit that you have remaining, $1.50. So you have, you know, 5 4-hour sessions. You see, from 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. You know, that's 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time every Saturday. You know, and you would normally go to pay now. I've just got it set up to pay later to show you what it looks like. There you go. You see it on the schedule every 2 weeks. So let's look. You know, is it on there next week? It shouldn't be on there next week. In week 3 it shouldn't. No, it's not. In week 4 it should be. There you go. And of course you can see it on your upcoming agenda of, you know, appointments. You know, here it is. It says 6 p.m. but for you it's really what? It's 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time. See, all these times are in my time zone. It presents everything on the scheduling web page, but you can see on this right here that what time it really is, and you know, that's just one of the limitations of the system. So let's see what else. I think I've covered pretty much. What can I fix your account, you know, if you make mistakes? I guess I need to do a little quick, you know, small video about that. I'm kind of running out of time here, but the short answer is, you know, that yes, I mean, I can go in and I can fix things by going to, let's say, my agenda. I'll just show you real quickly. You know, for example, you contact me, and well, I guess I may have to go on to a third video, but you contact me and want, you know, you say, Jimmy, you know, I'll do an example of that in my next video. So I'm going to close this one out here, and we'll come back.